part of this movement to help me preserve these films because they are absolutely culturally important for many, many reasons. Horror fans are typically passionate people. Let's pull our passion and use it to get a message out there to the world. Let's get people thinking critically. Do you realize the power that art and numbers give you? Let's celebrate the art we love with the strength of our number. Let's let the world know it's time to start using your brain. And all you have to do to exercise it is watch a couple of horror movies. We are not unintelligent people. Horror fans are the intelligentsia. Celebrate your intelligence, horror fans. Get the word out there. Klinchak's Killer Collection. Preserving the films we love and making sure they are forever talked about.
The police said suicide.
If the plot seems a little complicated, it's because Bava was exploring some complicated themes, one of them being boundaries. Some of those boundaries are personal, ethical, physical, geographical, and emotional.
I'm not ready yet.
With the property as interesting as the bay, we feel obliged to improve on its natural beauty.
A sincere gentleman would not have insisted to that extent, Mr. Ventura.
The bay is the perfect setting for Bava's commentary because of its ecological implications. Bay of Blood is about the survival of the fittest, making it to the top of the food chain and fighting to keep your position. In this case, fighting to the death. If you like this video, kindly hit the like button. Some type of SWAT team comprised of men who look like English rock musicians of the progressive rock persuasion are attempting to thwart some type of terrorist hostage situation. The terrorists apparently know something about what has happened at the plant, presumably in Africa. Believe me, it does not make this much sense without my commentary. In true apocalyptic zombie fashion, we find that our problem has spread to civilization. And like always, when it comes to zombies, civilization changes forever. And if you don't believe that, consider our last few Congresses. Like Klinchak's Killer Collection on Facebook. Is another shining example of the subconscious intellectual paranoia of the Reagan era.
But I have to make an 82 on this exam to pass the course. And if I don't pass the course, my parents stop making the payments on my car.
The fear of losing your backing and the idea of an ever-present threat of punishment for stepping out of line.
Chemistry for morons. No offense.
Subscribe to the Klinchak's Killer Collection YouTube page. In order to compete with New Line's competent antagonist Freddy Krueger, Jason elevated to anti-hero status in this film. Clearly now a legend in the making.
So, what were you going to be when you grew up?
It's interesting that McLaughlin's homage to Universal's Golden Age should coincide with the culture in mid-decade discovering its own loathing for itself, just as Paramount Pictures was selling their version of Coca-Cola Classic after swearing to put Jason to rest permanently in Part 4.
What is your favorite horror movie, and why?
John Carpenter's Halloween. Because it traumatized me. It literally traumatized me. It stayed with me for months. I would not go on the second floor of my house unless I knew someone else was up there besides me and Michael Myers. But there was something about that trauma that made me intellectually explore, I guess is the word. I intellectually explored that trauma. Why would something that's clearly not real and clearly impossible have such a traumatic effect on me? At that age of 11 or 10, I believe I was at the time, I didn't know that's what I was doing. But as an adult, I now understand what an invaluable experience that was for a boy my age, to kickstart that kind of intellectual questioning about the environment and the stimuli that I'm being exposed to. Halloween shaped my understanding of how to navigate through something difficult, something traumatizing and scary, in a completely healthy, non-threatening way. people who attack these movies, especially at the time, saying that they were having a detrimental effect on my generation, it's been nothing but positive for me. It makes me want to educate people. I question everything because I had to question my way through those safe traumas. I have an intellect that forms better opinions, I think, because I put so much thinking into challenging concepts. So Halloween is my favorite movie for that. Aesthetically, it's an amazing film. There's a reason that it's recognized, and it's a reason that it gets accolades outside of the horror community. Halloween, according to TV Guide, is a 4-star film, genre or not. Halloween is completely surreal, simple, but it works because it's surreal. That shot of Michael standing still with the knife where the crane pans back and the parents are doing nothing, I mean, there's nothing realistic about that shot. It's kind of absurd, but I never questioned it as a viewer. It sort of captivated me. It sold it to me in a way that realistically, I don't know if it would have worked. But it's that kind of artistry, that lack of surrealism, is why those films are unbelievable, because they're trying to sell them as believable. Carpenter set us up from the beginning. It didn't surprise anybody when Michael Myers got up after being shot 6 times, because the beginning of the film is completely absurd. It takes us out of reality. We're out of our element. That film is brilliant. And it's also the film that made me realize that I loved films, because I didn't care about movies one way or the other before that. If I had a favorite movie before Halloween, it was probably Star Wars, and it was just because every kid's favorite movie my age was old enough to experience it theatrically. That was our favorite movie. But Halloween, it's caused me to study films, all films, ever since. And that's why Halloween is my favorite movie.
Night, Mr. Waba.
Do do do.